The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Polino with BP Media Group.
So this is a really inspiring episode where we sit down with Hilary Haglund-Walker of Regions and the Women's Networking and Athena Award to talk about the fantastic opportunities that the Chamber creates to empower women and to connect women with all of these different resources. So let's jump into that episode now.
We're excited today to have Hilary Haglund-Walker. Hilary is with Regions. And thank you for joining us on the Connect. I'm squeaky today. You have to ignore my voice going in and out there.
Thank you, Tara. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So, Regions, this is the second year that Regions has come on as our presenting sponsor for the Women's Networking Series. So before we get into all that, why don't you kind of give your background history? You were born and raised here.
Yes, that's the best part of the story.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Lufkin and moved away for 15 years and then came back as fast as I could. That's what I tell people. Never thought I'd end up in banking. I went away and studied, went to law school and practiced law in Houston, and then came home, practiced with my dad's firm for several years, and totally messed up his retirement plan when I left to go to Regions. But it's been an absolute blessing. My boys were really little, and the bank was looking for an attorney to run their trust department. So it was a perfect fit. And since then, I have gotten a lot more involved and took over their marketing executive work a year ago, not quite a year ago. So it allows me to get involved more in the community, which is why I came home.
Yeah.
And the women's networking with the Chamber is a perfect fit for what we want to do.
And what area do you cover? Is that just Lufkin? Is it just the
No, I cover
market?
Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and Palestine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got
3 counties.
Yeah, a lot of East Texas in that.
Yes, yeah.
Well, very cool.
So why was it important for Regions to get plugged into the women's networking?
A couple of reasons. One, we were looking to get more involved with the Chamber, and that was something that was uniquely important to me in the new role. And this opportunity opened up. And at the time that we were able to join with the Chamber on Women's Networking, the market executive in Tyler, who's also a woman, definitely saw the importance of
Stars
us.
aligned.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such, I had attended women's networking events with the Chamber for years and loved everyone I ever went to, didn't want to miss them. And so I knew it was a really unique opportunity to come in and have the bank sponsor great quality events for women.
The thing I am proud about over the last really several years, we've really evolved this program. We've had the Women's Networking Series for many, many years. It started out just as a way to gather and to be able to support each other. And then it's just blown up since then. And I love the fact that last year we were very focused on empowering women and giving them a voice, and not just women that were working women, but we also really focusing on that stay-at-home mom and letting her get out and to be a part of this as well, keeping plugged into the community. And I know that that's probably important to y'all as well.
Absolutely.
You as a bank target all facets and everyone that's making decisions for their home.
Absolutely. Yeah, the bank has done a lot of research too, and there are statistics showing that women are increasingly more responsible for financial decisions in the home. Sadly, women also outlive men. And so even into their later years with estate planning, women are taking on more responsibility for finances. And a lot of women, whether they work outside of the home or at home, are the ones paying the bills and making sure that the finances look the way they need to. So it's a unique fit for us to be able to have an audience with lots of different kinds of women, knowing that they are going to be interested in those types of issues.
Yeah.
Last year, Megan, our marketing director, did a wonderful series on removing the filter because, you see all these ads. I think about the Dove ad of the women that, they're standing in either a bra and underwear or a swimsuit and they have no makeup on. And that's that was
raw and
kind of the
unfiltered.
concept. We were like, okay, we can't get local people to take an ad.
Nobody volunteered to do that.
No, not at all. But it was that concept of let's dig down and show who the women are that are making a difference in our community and that are making those decisions for their home and that can make a difference with their children and make a difference to each other.
Yeah.
And I loved that y'all came on during that.
That is such a great series. And really, the Chamber's done a magnificent job at identifying different themes year after year, which has been a lot of fun. But removing the filter was fantastic because those videos, while people were clothed and not in their underwear, they were so vulnerable and so raw. A lot of those discussions were real. It was about challenges that women we know and love have faced and about how the Women's Networking Group allows a safe space for that real talk, which you and I know is so critically important to women's mental and emotional health and how they continue to be successful at home and at work.
Yeah. You know, this year we're really focusing on Empower. I mentioned that a minute ago, but we started a new program about a month ago called the Empower Hour, which is really fun. And the cool part to me about that was it was after work. It was a cocktail party. It was a completely different group of women that showed up for that versus anyone that shows up to anything, whether it's Power Networking or First Friday. Like half the people that came through the door, I did not know. Were investors that said, we can't come to stuff during the day, but we can come and enjoy and have a glass of wine and have appetizers before we go home.
That's so great.
And they said, please do this. We were thinking we would do it twice a year. And they were like, please do this at least quarterly. Because there were even bits of women that got together that were talking about Bible study groups that they wanted to start with this group of women that had been there. It was a really cool thing.
Connecting people, connecting other women. I love that.
And connecting a completely different group of investors and women that really don't get to partake in other things that the Chamber does. So I look forward to growing that this year.
Yes.
So this may be a question for both of you. Why do you think it's important for someone who may not have been involved in these specific meetings and connecting opportunities that you have? What would you tell someone who's not been involved in that? And why is it so important for them to be involved in what you do for the Empowering Women?
I think it's important because we're reaching them at a different level. It's not. It feels more personal and intimate than just a business meeting.
Interesting.
At least for me as a woman, I like to connect with people and then know that I have connections with them in business. Sometimes it's just a little bit of a different, it's not a stuffy luncheon. You know, it's an opportunity to connect on a different level and maybe even take it into your personal life with a Bible study. But then know that you've made that connection with that other person and then those business opportunities open up. You're a lot more.
Agree.
It's that like you, know you, trust you element that works really well in business. If you know somebody, you like them, you can trust them, and then you're going to refer business to them.
Yeah, and you know, I think we're very specific in the people that we ask to come and to speak. You know, we try to do several things with a moderator. We do everything from mental health, wellness talks to what are great new trends in fashion. I mean, we do everything from one side to the other. And then, you know, at Christmas, we do the Chamber's Favorite Things, which is always a hit and so much fun, and getting to highlight different investors throughout the community to be able to give all of our investors, you know, something. If you're looking for a great gift, here are different investors that join us for that. But this new remove the filter and empowering, it's taken it to me to a whole new level of it's more than just a networking opportunity. Now it's let's get a little deeper. Let's figure out how as women we can support each other and help dreams and goals, whether it's personal or professional, grow and go to the next level. So that's been fun.
I love that that's becoming increasingly more popular now. I think we've spent so long just as human beings, to be honest, men and women, being sold things that are fake, right? Just so much just that's not authentic. And there's a real premium on these true, candid, authentic moments with people. And I love that that's becoming a more and more popular thing, like for people to be open. And I think for so long we've just been like inundated with like the fake, like the heavily photoshopped and the just things that are just genuinely not real, that we're all looking for something that's real.
Yes.
And I think, is it safe to say that you get that in the women's networking?
I definitely do. I mean,
Yeah.
I do too.
there's some lunches that I just sit and cry at when somebody tells their story of being a cancer
gosh,
survivor.
yes, the cancer
I think
event.
of Ashley Berry and Michelle Green and Jessica
yes.
Knight, all of them, telling their stories about being survivors and hearing the heartache, and now looking at what they've done to change, to give back to communities and things like that.
The impact is different.
It is. Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah. So, we've got our next big luncheon is coming up in April next month. And at that lunch, we partner with the Junior League of Lufkin. And it's a great partnership that we've done for many, many years. The league actually brings in the keynote speaker. So most of the time we have people in the Angelina County area, or even Nacogdoches. We've reached over to some of the professors at SFA to come and speak before, to come in and keynote for us. But they bring in a nationally recognized speaker. It's typically a luncheon of about 150 to 200 women, and it's on a totally different level. And at that, we help give the Athena Award. And so, I think that's important.
That's one of the biggest things that we do, obviously, because we, as the Women's Networking Committee, give that award, that leadership award. So it's always one I look forward to, because we are blessed with some pretty amazing women in our community who have done so much. And to be able to honor them in a special way at that luncheon it's really cool.
Yeah, I think of women. So the Athena Award, it's a nationally recognized award that is given to women all across literally the world. And then they have a chance every year to go to this leadership symposium with all the Athena Award winners from that year.
That's awesome.
So, people in our community like Ellen Temple, Jane Ainsworth, Sally Albus, Sally Muehlbach, Martha Hernandez, Donna Bustler. I'm just thinking of
Dr. McKenzie.
Yes, Dr. McKenzie, Demetrius, Harrell.
Brenda
There's
Elliott.
So many. I don't have the list in front
I
of me.
do.
Okay, good.
I cheated.
There's so many incredible women.
You could have a whole podcast just talking about these 10 or 12 women who have received it so far,
Absolutely.
because they're just absolutely dynamic women. And to have a chance to honor and celebrate them and what they've done for our specific community is one of the greatest things we do.
Yeah. So, if you're listening to the podcast and you know of a woman that has made just an amazing impact to Lufkin and Angelina County, contact the chamber. Find out how you get the information to nominate. Because we are in the middle of nominations right now. We would love to have your nominations.
Yes.
To be able to look at some new faces to bring into that.
And if they're listening and they're not currently involved with the networking opportunities, how do they get plugged into that? So how would you get involved?
We have our own Facebook page.
That's right.
a great way to stay involved.
Awesome.
Yes. And the chamber website.
Yeah, absolutely. Call the chamber. Look at the websites. We've got it on the website. Like Hilary said, it's on the Facebook page. We have Instagram. So
the Facebook page has all of the Remove the Filter videos. So I would encourage our listeners to definitely go to that page, like it, watch some of those videos, and then follow
what
it
we're about.
For events. Yes.
And I can't speak personally for the Women's Networking. I've never personally been to any of the Women's Networking events, but I can say I believe that I believe that to be true. But I can say, from having been to other chamber events and knowing the culture that the chamber has, if you've never been to one, don't be intimidated to go to these. It's so welcoming. It's so inviting. And this is probably even more so, I can imagine, than even a regular event would be.
It's a great way to make friends.
It is a great way to make friends. And even if you don't know anybody, definitely get plugged in and do that.
What I love about these events, too, is the tables are different every time. You won't... It's not real cliquey. You'll see different women at different tables, and it's an opportunity for you to move around and meet new women that maybe you haven't had an opportunity to meet yet.
I'm glad you said that, because I could imagine that being a reason for someone not to want to go to something like that and being afraid that you wouldn't be involved.
And if you're hearing this and you're not a chamber investor and you want to come figure out what we're about, it's a great place to start.
Yes.
It is.
Come see that. We'll tell you all about the chamber.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, anything else that anybody needs to know about the Women's Networking, or about you, or about Regions, or about anything else that you have going on?
No, I just get plugged in. The chamber has so many great events and so many great groups to join. We would encourage you to find where you fit, because there's a place for everybody.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for sponsoring and supporting the chamber.
Thank you to the bank for letting me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Regions.
I was going to be there anyway, so it's good to go as the sponsor.
If you're not watching the video version, she is super on brand with the green today.
Have my Regions green
with the Regions green
and
yeah. So if you're not watching the video, If that's not enough reason for you to watch the video version, then I don't know what
pillar
it
of
is.
money.
She's
That's
got
right.
it. Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
perfect. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your
Thank
time. We
you.
appreciate you coming on and chatting with us here on the podcast. And we want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. We truly appreciate your support. It blows our minds the amount of support that we're receiving on this podcast and the number of people who are tuning in every single week. And we want to thank you for that. If you'll do us a favor, if you'll go rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, that helps other people who are interested in this type of podcast find it here in our community. And that would be a huge help to just letting other people know about it. And if you want to watch the video version of this podcast so you can see what color of shirt everybody's wearing, you can catch that on
I can promise I'm in black.
Tara and I are usually in the same thing for most episodes, but you can catch that on the Chamber Facebook page and on the Chamber YouTube channel. Thank you so much and have a great week. We'll see you next time.